All right, with the new stones inside of the shop and then also the redstone given to us for free, I figured I'd make a little video about it and talk about the best options that you can choose and basically just going over all of them and telling you guys what I believe that you should get if you do decide to get the stones. And then obviously the redstone is because everybody has one, right? So let's go ahead and start off with the options here. This is a little bit deceiving, I would say, just because of the fact that the first three, even though they are side banner units, they do actually come with multiple side banner units for free and multiple characters. I believe it's just for the first three though. No, it's just for the first two. Once we start getting into some of the Dokkan Fest characters, none of them have it where you can actually get any other characters other than an Elder Kai, right? That being said, we still have a very unfortunate case where the physical Kid Buu is not here, which would have been the #1 option, but for whatever reason they decided they want to take out Kid Buu literally after they give him the Super EZA, but something like Super Saiyan 3 Goku is here. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about what you should get now that we have discussed that. So a lot of these characters are obviously very old characters, and a lot of them are just either going to get a Super EZA extremely soon, like something like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, something like, well, I would have said STR Broly, but he's not even here either, is he? But all of these bottom characters are the closest, well, except for Bekon and that one, because they're not Dokkan Fest. Basically, from this point on, all of these characters are very close to getting an EZA, or a Super EZA. Age Super Saiyan 3 Goku already got one. Vegeta's pulling up on one. Gogeta is obviously very close because I believe he was the first anniversary unit. Physical Goku Black already got one. Perfect Cell. All of these characters are super close to getting that Super EZA. Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks just got one as well. That's been on the global version, but on JP he's been out for a little while. Even though there are some options missing from here, like how we talked about STR Broly and Janemba, to name a few, there is still lots and lots of options to choose from, right? So the thing is, if I'm gonna probably split this part into two, and it's gonna be what you should get if you want to just get it right now, and what you should probably wait to see and get. So the main issue that we have right now is just that we don't really know. Well, I guess I'll do the ones of what you of why you should wait first. Sorry for like making it a little more jumbled, but excuse me for that. The main issue that we have right now is we don't know what the next Super EZA is going to be. And because Global and JP is already synced with all of the EZA units, we have to kind of assume that whatever is going to be on the JP side is also going to be on the Global side. That being said, there's still some options obviously missing from here. If we go ahead and just look at Dokkan Awaken and we go all the way to the bottom to... I guess we could just do Extreme Z Awaken because those ones will just be the first characters, right? So we have STR Broly, who still needs to get Super EZA. Tech Cell, these two already got theirs. Kid Buu, AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku, none of these with the Dokkan Fest. And Janemba, like I said, is not here. STR Gogeta is though. You know, Ult into Ultana is not here. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is here. So it's just like some of these options are here, but if we go ahead and look at the bottom, right, we, like I said, Tech Cell and STR Broly aren't here, so we're obviously not going to talk about them. But if we go ahead and look at the next options of stuff that is on here, we have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until we get to the next supposed EZA, Super EZA. Obviously, depending on what they want to do, because at the time, you know, they keep jumbling around where they just keep skipping up all the way ahead. They do Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, but then, you know, AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku was like the first one, right? So we don't know what the order is going to be, but even still, I think it is something to think about for sure. If you know the character is going to get a Super EZA in the future, if you want to maybe get something that for the future, I think that would definitely be a pretty okay option, especially because, like I said, we look at some of these EZA options and Physical Kid Buu was on almost every single redstone up until this point, and then the second he got a Super EZA, he's not in the shop anymore. But AGL Super Saiyan 3 is, right? So if, let's say, you want to get STR Gogeta because you don't have STR Gogeta Rainbowed, then you can just go ahead and do that, get another copy of STR Gogeta, and then have it where when S tier Gogeta and Inch Janemba get their Super EZA, you're already ready, you know. If S tier Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta isn't rainbowed for you, then you can get and you do that. If AGL Vegito isn't easy or you know done, then you can just do that, right? Well, let's go ahead and look at the options that we can get now. Let's go ahead and stop talking about the hypotheticals for a second. So there's I would want to say 3 main units that you need to really think about here, which is Tech God Goku, who is the GOAT. And while this character is not a Dokkan Fest exclusive, I will say that he does have a lot of use in these current fights. I'm almost positive he has like at least 5 or 6 out of the Supreme Battle Spectacle fights. He's having that 77% damage reduction, making it where he is a very powerful option in there. He will be taking almost 0 damage from a lot of these events, right? And then if we go ahead and scroll down, we have Physical Goku Black, we have Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and then we have AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So I guess those 4 options. 3 of them are Dokkan Fest, 1 of them are the sideband unit. So AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a very powerful option, especially on the Majin Buu Saga team, specifically because he has it where at the beginning of the turn, he will have it where he just does a critical hit, and then he will also give super class allies an additional 20% crit chance and extreme class allies 10% crit chance for 10 turns. Very, very powerful for sure. Then he obviously has the 60% dodge chance before he attacks, 30% afterwards. He gets defense and a high chance to perform a critical hit 3 turns after he evades an attack. Like he has a lot of stuff that's going on that just makes it where he's doing like 10 million, 12 million, 13 million supers that are just guaranteed crits, right? It's a very powerful ability for sure. Physical Goku Black is kind of like a must run on the Super Bosses team, not only being able to create rainbow key spheres when you are running a Super Bosses category team, basically, because right there, trying to tap it without it closing, but right there where it says that Super Bosses will give you or when there's a Goku's family category enemy, that not only will you get rainbow key spheres, but you also get an additional 10% attack and defense when collecting key spheres. You know, like having all of that is just very, very powerful for sure. Getting all of that too. At the bottom too as well, it changes random key spheres of a certain type, physical excluded to physical key spheres when there's a super class enemy. So he's creating so many orbs for not only himself but also something like Broly, Chila, and Lemo, something like a lot of these other characters that could definitely use the orbs, but also just having it where he's doing a decent amount of damage as well, getting crit chance for every 3 times that he gets hit, he gets an additional 20% crit chance that caps at 100. So he's critting most of the time. He has it where he's getting attack and defense and key, so you won't even really have to worry about him in terms of key issues. Obviously, you do still need to get a whole bunch of key spheres just because of the fact that all of his defense is tied to getting key spheres. And then having it where he's just going to be doing lots and lots of damage, right? He's definitely a must run on the Super Bosses team. And then we have the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, who I believe is the final option on here, right? Yeah, everything else is just like could be EZAs in the future. But Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is probably the best Super EZA by I don't know if I would say by far, but he definitely is very, very good for sure. So he has it where he has a 50% crit chance and 50% damage reduction when he's getting 11 key spheres, or basically the key spheres that you want to be getting most of the time anyways. He has it where at the beginning of the fight, he gives super class allies 33% defense and extreme class allies 33% attack for 3 turns. Have it where you help out a lot of these units that need to do their build up periods, get just a slight bit more defense to help them out a lot more, which definitely does help, especially because a lot of like I said, a lot of these characters do need to get hit. They need to get some sort of defense from doing a lot of these things. So like World Tournament Goku needs to get hit, Physical God Goku needs to start stacking. Like all of these characters, they're not going to be as powerful on turn 1 as they are going to be like on turn 5, right? So having that sort of support does help out the team a lot. Then having it where if you get the 12 key, he gets a 88% dodge chance because he gets the high chance to dodge, and then he gets an additional 33% at the bottom when performing a super attack if his thing isn't a 12 key. So pretty good, like I said. That being said, a lot of these fights nowadays are having it where you just have so many AoEs and stuff, that you do have to keep that in mind for sure. That could be definitely this guy's one's downfall. It's just like he might not be able to tank the super attack. So if you're not getting the 11, or not the super attacks, he might not be able to tank the AoEs if you're not getting the 11 key a lot. And dodge canceling obviously exists as well, and will be a problem until MUI comes out, and even still that'll still be a problem, right? Out of all four of those options, I would say that personally for my tier list, I'd probably put something like Tech Super Saiyan to Gotenks at the top, then Tech God Goku, just because of the fact that he's able to be used in a lot of these top tier fights. Tech Gotenks is able to be used in a lot of these top tier fights. Keep in mind though that this guy will get obviously 10 times better once Topo releases as well. So maybe I guess I would put Tech God Goku and then Super Saiyan to Gotenks in the same tier then. And then I'd probably put Physical Goku Black under that. It just mainly like relies on you running a Super Bosses team. So since he's directly the only person for he can only be really truly ran on a Super Bosses team, I think that does need to be kept in mind as well. And then I'd probably put AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku on the bottom. That doesn't mean that he's not obviously still very powerful. I think that it's mostly just an issue of him being the first one. So obviously, as they learn more and more how to do some of these kits to make the Super EZAs work, they just made it slightly more buffed over time, right? So then we get into the UR Premium Stone 2. Not a lot of good options here, obviously. Like, oof. At Monato's Flash, your goat is in the shop. This one is just Kefla. This is just Kefla by a mile. Because the thing is that, like, let's say that you get some of these units and you don't know what their EZA is going to be, and they could just be like trash. I think Kefla is just going to be the best, just because of the fact that Kefla is just the GOAT right now. It'd probably be Kefla, then like Beerus, and I think that's probably it, to be honest. Like, it's either Kefla or Beerus that you're picking up. That's about it. Obviously, if you don't have some of these other units, I would recommend picking up the Dokkan Fest first, just because you could always get a side banner unit when literally any single banner, but you can't get some of these Dokkan Fest on every single banner, right? But yeah, I'd probably literally just say just Kefla and Beerus. Like, there's not much to say. I guess Final Form Frieza, like Angel, could also be a pretty powerful option post easy, but again, that's just what ifs, right? Like, we really can't tell. Now for the Purple Stone, it's again another situation of like, there's options that you should get, and then there's options that no. And the three main options are just going to be the STR-UI Goku, Physical Broly, Chilai, and Lemo, and then the Physical Super Saiyan Blue, Kaioken Goku, and Vegeta. It'll just be those three options. So if you don't already know, the Physical Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta, I believe EZA either just before Part 2 or after Part 2 starts. They get have it where they Rainbow Orb change, they do more crits, they do like all of this stuff. Like, it literally goes from this passive to like 3 paragraphs, right? It's very insane. They turn into a very powerful option. STR-UI just had his EZA. I do think that in order to see the full capabilities of this unit though, before you do judge him, just remember that he does need to have other representatives of Universe 7 category allies on the turn, and we are getting so many buffs in that category, whether it be right now or later, that I would just wait if you are going to get this guy, and just kind of wait before judging him if you have already used him, and be like, man, this guy sucks. He is not dodging anything, right? He's not able to tank this normals. I think having it where like 84% dodge chance is just going to hit a lot more than 70%, right? And then Broly, Chilai, and Lemo is probably the best option here, especially for the Super Bosses team. Still having it where the powerful ability of just, I'm able to dodge everything as long as I get 7 key spheres or more. Then having it where once you do fall below a certain amount of HP, you will automatically turn the key spheres of a certain type to physical. And then after, I believe it's like 30 or 48% HP, you turn the whole field of orbs into physical. Sort of like these powerful abilities like Vegeta. I can't remember who else does it other than like physical Vegeta. Or at least not off the top of my head, but Vegeta is another one that comes to mind. That just changes all of these. Oh, I guess into Majin Buu, but he does it into Cookies instead. But yeah, like all of these powerful characters that have it where they just transform all those key spheres. He's a really powerful option, especially on the Super Bosses team, but even still, he doesn't need to specifically be ran on that team either. He's still just a very powerful option, or they are still just a very powerful option. But out of those three, I would definitely say that priority list is probably just going to be the Broly, Chile, and Lemo. And then, actually, if I had to make a priority, it would probably be Physical Super Saiyan Blue Boys. Then it would be Broly, Chile, and Lemo. And then it would be STRUI Goku. Because Broly, Chile, and Lemo already have it where their support is just so dominant and so powerful for the movie bosses / super bosses team, that I think that STRUI has it where there's like 6,000 EZAs that are going to be happening in the celebration, that he's becoming more of a filler option than anything, while some of these other options, like I said, Physical Super Saiyan Blue Boys and the Broly, Chile, and Lemo, are kind of more of the dominant options on the team. But even still, I think either three of these options would definitely be the best. Again, in the hypotheticals, you can get some of these other LRs if you do already have them. Everything from like here downwards, I would not get. Maybe some of the first two LRs, just because they could get their super EZAs, but I wouldn't hope on it anytime soon, obviously, because we didn't have LR EZAs until like what, 5 years. So we're quite a while from getting like STR Broly and Tech Rose Masu to get a super EZA, in my opinion. But we don't know how stuff like Jiren is gonna get an EZA. Like again, we don't know how it's going to look on JP, so I think looking at the JP timeline, if you do want to hold on to the stone for a little bit, it's just going to be very powerful to wait, as always, and then try to see like, oh, okay, maybe Jiren is going to be like a top 5 LR for the Universal Survival Saga team or something like that. Pairs well with a Broly, or not a Broly. Well, I guess he would go on the Super Boss's team, right? Yeah, he would. But I was gonna say that the character could always be like a Universal Survival Saga kind of unit. But yeah, and then I guess Tekko Cheetah is gonna get his EZA soon, pretty soon too. I don't know about a Golden Freeze. I would say no, and then obviously Fusion Zamasu no. But yeah, I think that's it. Obviously, like I said, I think the most powerful thing to do is probably just wait and see. If you don't need to use if you don't need to use the premium stones right now, wait to see what JP is gonna do. Look at their timeline, look at how they're going to get the EZAs and stuff like that, and wait to see because we don't have a timeline, or we don't have a period that we have to use these like right now. It's literally 42 days. So waiting to see like, okay, well, I'm just gonna wait to see what the next super EZA is gonna be. I'm gonna wait to see what the next EZA is gonna be, and then getting that option based off of that, and then seeing their EZA details is probably gonna be best, right? But again, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you guys did find this a little bit informative. Thank you as always for being a member. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did find out, or if you guys did find this helpful at all, always make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel a whole bunch. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. Hopefully you guys have a good time during the anniversary, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.